anywhere traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
We are cooking. Everything power on, hit the lights, camera, action, cold brew, iced coffee. What's the difference? Is there a difference between iced coffee and cold brew? Mike is shaking
Absolutely.
his head up and down.
I have a lot of opinions on the matter.
What
Do
is,
you know?
I don't know the difference.
Well, let me tell you.
Oh,
Iced coffee is they brew coffee and then they cool it down.
okay.
Cold brew, they never put heat on it, so it sits in a bag, and then overnight it seeps in, so it's a completely different taste. If you taste them side by side, one tastes like just hot coffee that's cold, it's just like burnt coffee, and then cold brew has like a more robust, chocolatey velvet texture.
I'll brew you up a pot of robust. That's a joke from man, what's his name? Dustin Nickerson used to send me one of his clips, but he has a whole bit about how like Southern sayings are like way over the top when they're like describing something. He's like, it's a pretty dirty bit, but he's like, I will kiss you right on your ass if that tornado wasn't a mile wide, you know. And he's like, all right, I don't think you have to go that far. He's like, buddy, I will tongue punch your dirt star if that tornado wasn't 3/4 mile wide. And it just keeps getting longer and longer. And I forget what the end bit is, but it's about him and a coffee pot. And he's like, I will brew you a pot of robust if that tornado. Man, I wish I knew his name
great.
off the top. Dustin plays it for me at least once a year, and I laugh so hard. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to This Week in Zoltan. This is episode 383 coming at you from the studio. Humidity. That's how I'm going to start. It is hot. It is humid. If there are any video editors out there that can take the audio from Oh, the Humanity when the Hindenburg crashed. Oh, the humanity. And if you could splice in, oh, the humidity. That is what we're going through. Am I asking too much of the internet?
I don't think so.
I think that's pretty fair.
I mean, it seems like something you could do pretty easily, but no, put it out there to the internet. See if they can do it.
You've never seen me work the internet. Emma makes fun of me all the time. She gets so frustrated. Like if I have to do something on the computer or on my phone, she'll go, just give it to me. We're never going to get there. Yeah.
Is that Jimmy Fallon character? Move. I'll do it.
It is. That's what we have. We are. It's Wednesday, I think, and we just came out of the depths of hell, which is the New York City subway. Ooh. And it is. How are there not more fights down there? Like every time I hear the news that someone's been murdered in the subway, and I'm like, just one? How is every time those doors open and once you step out of that air conditioning into that impressive thick humidity, how do you not just grab a stranger and just start punching them right in their snout, going, it's too hot for us down here?
I'm the opposite.
Yeah?
Every time I hear somebody getting in a fight in the subway, I'm like, where do you have the energy? How are you not worn out from going there? I don't have it. I couldn't fight. If someone tried to fight me in the subway, I'd be like, it's yours, man. Just take it.
Yeah, that is a good time to rob somebody. Just moist. Like if you can slide my wet wallet out of my moist back pocket that is clung to my gams, as they call them, then the wallet's yours, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the humidity. You like it?
I mean, not that intensely.
Right.
But just a little. It makes my hair gives my hair that nice volume.
You like the volume. Yeah, she likes the volume. I don't miss having long hair because I remember when I used to have long hair and the humidity would just go poof, and I'd have to tie it up in a bun. By the way, I used a bun before it got taken over by these. Remember when? I mean, buns are already passe, but like the man bun craze era, I was from before. That sucks. You know, I feel for those people that had a thing and then some other people took over the thing. Like the first run of the mullet, you know?
I just Googled Zoltan.
Man bun?
Man bun.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to catch any. That's just how I wore my hair. I never wore it on stage. Like, I have too much respect for the art form.
Yeah, no, it's not coming up, so you escaped.
Yeah.
You escaped. Good thing you weren't famous back then. Good thing you had no career.
Yeah, I never did it on stage. I had too much respect for the art form. I always let it down and pillowed it out a little bit. But are my thighs showing in the shot?
Just the top of your cross knee.
Just right there?
Yeah.
That's enough to be offensive. I'm going to put that down. You ever look at your own thighs and go, who the hell would want to look at that?
Well, in the wide shot, it's quite a bit in up the thigh.
Oh, it's up the thigh.
Would you like me to zoom in some? I can get rid of it. Hold on. Let's see. I could zoom in a little bit.
There was a comedian.
There we go. All right. How's that? Better? Hold on.
Let me see this.
Look. This is what it was before, though. Here, for the viewer, if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. That just looks... Oh, that's upsetting.
You can see all the way up.
Oh, my God. You can see the... Oh, especially that one. You can see the second quarter, and now you're getting to the top patch.
You're about to brew up some robust. So do you want it in or out?
Oh, definitely away from the thighs. There we go.
All
That's
right. It's a little tight, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll fit in
survive.
there. I'll lean to the left, I think.
Watch on YouTube if you're not for such riveting content.
Every once in a while, some creep will leave a comment like that. And it's always a dude, because I think women are too classy, and they're not into me. But the dudes that are into dudes... I believe they call them the homosexual community.
That's what I've heard.
The ones that do leave a comment, boy, are they aggressive. I see what these ladies have been complaining about with us fellas.
Yeah.
Because just because you're gay instead of straight doesn't mean you're not bringing that batitude to the other side.
You still got that testosterone.
Yeah. And you're like, whoa, dude. I'm reading this before I go to bed. Like, I got to have that in my head that you're going to break into my window. All right.
And then you end up accepting the kiss, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Why did I do that? Why haven't I done it before?
The gays love,
They love
they like what I bring to the table. Because I honestly do think I'm the perfect modern male, where I look like I've done a push-up, but I don't look like I can do two. And so it's like the right amount of athletic to not. That it's the right level, you know. Like I work out, but I still have a sloped back. So it's like, it's what humanity's launching towards.
You can do push-ups, but nobody knows you do it from your knees. I do 25 a day. I didn't specify.
Yeah,
how I
specify. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But what I was gonna say about the thighs, man thighs specifically. There's a comedian, Sam Wiles, when he was in San Diego. I don't know if he still does this joke. I hope he does. I hope it's on something. But he's like, man thighs look like someone took a turkey, just a raw turkey, and threw it on a barbershop floor. That is what it looks like. Imagine if you took a turkey out of the packaging and just the spray patches of hair and weird veins. Great. It's a great joke. Very disgusting, but very accurate. So, the former president almost got assassinated. I didn't know how we were going to hop into that, but I guess that's how we're hopping into that. That was nuts, buddy.
Whew, man, let me tell you. Tough. Lot of. Sure, yes, they tried to kill him, but Tenacious D broke up because of it. Who saw that coming?
I know. What a weird...
That's crazy.
Talk about to the back and to the left. It really ended up taking out Tenacious D.
It took out Kyle Gass, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it took Trump's ear and then took out Tenacious D, which is such a bummer. By the way, I totally forgot. Safe Journal. We're getting back to the former president who was almost assassinated. Before we get there, Safe Journal, safejournal.co. For all of your journaling needs. There's only one journal you need in your life. It's called the Safe Journal. It is perfect whether you're seasoned or brand new, whether you're intermediate or expert. This is the journal for you. There's all sorts of tools and metadata. That's a fun term I like to say. And if you use Zoltan at checkout, you get...
New one.
Oh, we have a new discount code.
Yes.
New discount code. Are you listening to this, Mark?
Zoom in.
Mark, my manager, who will be editing this, there's a new discount code. Is it TWIZ?
Yes.
It is TWIZ, which is the acronym for this week in Zoltan. You see what we did there? So if you type in TWIZ at checkout, you get how much off?
25.
25% off and a handwritten note by me. New discount code. Why? Because all the websites picked up on the old discount. You know how you can like Google discount codes? They picked up on it. Safe Journal is doing that well that websites have.
All right.
What?
Tone it down a little.
I'm buttering biscuits here. I'm buttering This is how we treat our one and only sponsor.
Okay.
This is, if you think about it, every time I do a commercial for this, it's like I'm doing a commercial for a potential other client. That's like, we got to give this guy $1 million.
So what you're saying is you don't mean it. I'm
saying. Oh, you got me there. Does any podcaster mean it?
That's true.
Do you think Mark Maron really uses stamps.com?
Not as often as you think.
Not
as often as he probably talks about it.
Yeah. But safejournal.co TWIZ at checkout for a handwritten note and 25% off. That is the new discount code.
Yep.
Good pitch. So anyway, the former president, Donald Trump, got zinged in the ear. How'd you find out about it? Do you remember? Were you just on the phone? Were you strolling the interwebs?
Just on Instagram, yeah.
Oh, it was just on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how people get news now.
Yeah.
I saw an alert on my phone. I was headed into the comedy club, and I saw an alert on my phone, and my feature, Shane O'Connor, just goes, yeah, I think it was just someone lit off fireworks during the thing, and it was like a scare. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I didn't think anything of it, did the first show. And then the second show in between, right before the second show, someone's like, no, it was a full-on assassination attempt. He got shot in the ear. And I was like, whoa. And then I watched the video, and I felt... I remember, those big like everyone knows where they were when JFK was shot, that kind of feeling, like the 9/11. I remember how it felt. I'll give this because it didn't, he was clipped. I'll give it like 25% of 9/11 is the shock that I felt, where I'm like, whoa, someone actually tried. That's crazy. It's one thing to say it, but then for a nut job to try, and then I had to go on stage. And I came up with a joke because the only thing I had, I don't know if you saw my joke on it, but Emma texted me. It was like he got up like a pro wrestler and went, and then I just remembered, I'm like, oh, he got shot in the ear. So like the next time he does like a debate with Biden, he's probably going to give him the whole, like my lobes are doing all right. And that's what I went on stage with. And then when I was on stage actually doing the bit, I was like, he just got up like an action hero. I was like, and then like end credits, like like Chuck Norris and Missing in Action 8 or something. And then, we got to see the sequel. Insane.
It's crazy how many angles there are of it.
So many.
Everyone's filming. There's so many cameras going on at any given time. You can see his shoe. There was one of just his shoe flying off.
What? Oh.
Yeah, because he says, give me my shoes. Let me get my shoes. That's what he was yelling at the Secret Service.
He fell out of his shoes?
Apparently they tackled him so hard, like to get him down. His shoes went flying off his body.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they... he had like a lift in the shoe that fell out with it too, and that someone got that one. That's crazy. Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, that's horrible. It really goes to show you like how, like I know the Secret Service is the best or whatever, but I don't know like how many. There's like 2 roofs out there, and they only covered 1 roof.
Got like, half the roofs.
Yeah, I mean that was like a convertible town. Like there's no roofs out there.
That's crazy.
Everyone's just wide open. Thank you for giggling at my dumb little joke that I wrote on the subway. But like there was 2 roofs. They put a sniper on one roof, and the other guy climbed the other roof. And apparently they interviewed people, and they were like, "Hey, there's a guy who doesn't look like he's part of this. He doesn't look like a Secret Service member climbing the only other roof in this farm of Pennsylvania, wherever they are, Dutch country. And you want to get a look at him? Huh? And then
they're screaming at the cops.
Yeah.
There's a guy on the roof of the gun. Okay, bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was telling Emma about this. Like, it's because, the Secret Service, I'm sure they're super trained for everything. But at the same time, there hasn't been an assassination attempt on any president in like 40 years. So at the same time, whether or not you're pumped up, you're still like, yeah, all right. Like, how many rounds of golf do they have to follow this guy on? How many, like, if he was giving that speech in New York City, I'm sure they'd be like, all right, laser focus.
Yeah.
But they're in farm country. Everyone in that area loves them. What are the odds that
Almost everyone.
almost, other than the guy with 3 names? That's buddy, if you got a middle name, you're just waiting to shoot somebody. That's all I've ever learned about
If your name's John Joe James,
John Joe.
let's not get this guy a gun.
We're keeping an eye on you, dude.
Let's at least flag your record.
Can we make? I know we're very much against like keeping guns away from people, but like if you got a middle name, we should at least get a second look at you. You know, like if you want to just hand a gun over to someone, just be like, "What's your middle name?" Like, I don't have one. Boom, you get a gun. But if you got 3 names, we got to at least sniff around, sniff the back door a little. Anyway, that's for when I'm running for president.
It's just nuts, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It
And we
was-
all have to pretend like, I don't know what we have to pretend at this point. Like, we have to pretend that, like, things are fine. Oh, no, just go to the RNC. No, we'll do the election still.
Yeah.
You got a guy that can't walk and a guy that's getting shot at. And we're like, nah, this is the best option.
These are the goods.
This is life. Unreal.
And then he
crazy.
ended up, I kind of felt weird about this because I also posted my clip, which I felt dirty about posting because so many people posted like skits and not just stand-up skits, but like other things. And I'm like, oh, we're so desensitized to how shocking this is that immediately it happened. Like, how many people podcasted immediately?
Oh, right away.
Right away. Like, he's still wiping blood off his cheeks, and we're like, oh, right now I got Alex Jones or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, my God, I'm surprised these people didn't blow out their Achilles tendon running to the studio as soon as they heard the news. Like, oh my God, we got to find
They
out.
see it as an opportunity for content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the world is. Like, something happens, and people are like, oh my God, I have to shoot something about this.
That's what we're doing right now.
It's true.
Do you think the guy, the shooter,
true.
has a vlog out there and he's like, all right, I'm just heading up to the roof real quick. I'll catch you later. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and just click out. I wonder if he was doing content.
It's so dark.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's how like we've fallen apart as a society. Is that no matter what happens, how horrific or non-horrific or intermediate, we just immediately have to run and do something about it. And then who wins? The social media companies. Yes. Like all the people that are conspiracy theorists out there that are like, oh, this was an inside job, or they think everything's got something shady to it. I would believe it if the theory led to social media companies, like head honchos, are the ones creating the nonsense so all of us can make content
It's crazy.
and put it on their thing.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
My first thought was, he got what? And then I was like, ugh, I'm going to have to just see jokes about this for the next 3 weeks. Like, I was already sick of the comics just running to do their bits, like
Yeah.
online. And I was like, here we go. And then I did one, you know, it was like,
Everyone.
stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And you got to post them right away because they're going to be dead.
Yeah.
The joke, the content's not going to work out. But it was crazy to see how little security a former president actually has. Because I was in Washington, D.C. this past weekend, and NATO was in town, and the entire city was like shut down. Like my Uber couldn't get me to my hotel because I think some of the people at NATO were staying at the nice hotel across from mine.
Sure.
And they had to drop me off a block away, and I had to walk past like Hummers and like government vehicles. Like streets were shut the hell off. Like
That's crazy.
You're not coming through here.
Which
Yeah.
means there's a protocol. Oh,
Yes.
someone took a shot, and then all right, here we go, and everyone has to go run their put their
Yeah.
cement trucks and block the roads, and it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like the amount of work they put in to protect everyone coming in from NATO, and then a former president's giving a speech on a farm, and we're like, what's that, a second roof? Ah, what's that, another tripod? I'm not getting the other tripod. This is good. This is fine.
You know what? My distance goggle ran out of batteries. I figured it. I eyeballed it, and I was just too far. It was not far enough.
My
Too close.
favorite. And I know you're not supposed to make fun of this. They're not the best.
Yeah.
God bless the Secret Service, but they tackle him, they bring him up, and then Trump's like, wait, I want to do a thing. And then I don't know if you saw it, one guy was like, oh, let me put my hand in front of your face. That ought to do it. That's enough meat to, like, I'll just bat down some bullets.
That's
which,
crazy.
bless their hearts for even putting their bodies in the way.
I didn't even know they put themselves in front of they sacrificed their own lives.
Oh, you didn't know that?
didn't know
You never
that.
watched The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston?
No.
We got to watch that.
Let's do it.
And I will always love you.
Why do you have to make eye contact with me while you do that?
It's less comfortable for you.
That's how you serenade. Have you never been serenaded?
Well, we both looked at
Sweating.
we both looked at each other, and then I think immediately we were like, "Man, we can't look at each other's
Yeah.
eyes. Let's go to the only woman in the room."
I didn't like the feeling in my toes. So I went over here. No, that whole movie's about who.
Well, it's called bodyguard. You're using your
yeah.
body to guard. You're
Oh,
guarding
that's
the
so
body.
true. I
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, sometimes words are literal,
Yeah.
but it is funny when you find that out. But yeah, they just tackled the guy and then they covered him like a bunch of honeybees trying to kill a Japanese hornet, and they're like, "We'll kill him with our body heat." And I'm like, "Dude, will you get off of him?" And then they're carrying him off. I'm like, "He was shot in the ear. What are you doing?"
I love the theories though. As immediately they're like, "No, something fell out of his hand. He cut himself." And I was like, "The guy is a WWE Hall of Famer." Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is the case, but let's not put it out of the realm of possibility.
There's been so many funny memes. Like they had the one of Ric Flair from Royal Rumble '92 with the blood in his
Covered
hair
all
going, woo! And there's the other one of Steve Austin doing a podcast with him and going, all right, so you take a bump, you do the blade, and then you get up. Tell me what next. And I'm like,
That's fantastic.
It's fun. It's funny to think about, but the actual, like, who would really think that's a conspiracy? Like that Trump would do that? That, oh yeah, but don't shoot me for real. Just graze my ear, and we're gonna trust this 20-year-old.
Well, I think early on people assumed that the whole thing was a work. Like immediately, it's like,
Really?
How do you go? It was such a near miss. It was like so close to be like, how didn't you get him? Like almost, like how'd you
Right.
get so close yet so far? That it's almost, I don't know, everything's believable at this
It
point.
goes to show you who we give guns to in this country. Some guy who's like, blah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I noticed all the people sitting behind him. Everybody ducked.
Yeah.
And then there were like a couple people that were like, huh? Woo, what's that? They were just like trying to get shot.
That's so true.
And the lady with the phone immediately, she just starts shooting.
Oh, yeah,
She's
some lady.
filming. Yeah.
And you were like, what kind of person would do that?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I immediately told her a story. One time we were leaving a baseball game in San Diego, and my buddy got lost. And we were a couple blocks away in Barrio Logan, which is not the best neighborhood. And there was a drive-by shooting. Like, we came to an intersection, another car pulled up, and they started shooting at a guy that was standing on the corner, and everyone in the car got down, and my buddy peeled out. But I was like, huh? I was like, I saw the whole thing. I'm pointing. I'm like, I can do. I'm a witness.
Everybody get down. Zoltan goes, what'd you say?
It's so true.
That's exactly me.
Huh?
That's how I know I could never be the right. Like, I could never be a first responder. No. I could be like a third. What's that? The Dave Attell joke? A third responder with
third
the
responder,
heroes delivering heroes to heroes. I could be like It's such a great joke.
Heroes delivering heroes to heroes. God, he's so funny.
He's a poet in our world. But yeah, I could never be one of those hero, like just jump into action. Or if I did, I'd pull my calf muscle and I'd go,
Oh, stinger. I'm not start screaming that.
It's just, I'm injured. I'm not healing from this.
It's like the little baby rat that we saw.
Oh, my embarrassment?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even talking about that, but yeah.
No, we can talk about that. We saw a baby rat at the park in Dumbo.
Yeah.
And it came out of the bushes, and it's this adorable little baby rat, and it's crossing a busy walkway, and we're just sitting there watching it. Oh, and I'm like, oh, my God. We're like, I hope it doesn't get killed. But I'm also not going to, I'm not touching this rat. Because I don't know how diseases work, but I also know I don't have health insurance. I don't think I can CVS telehealth. It bit me right in the face.
No age city rat is going to get scooped up and just be like, Yeah, this is for my own good. They're gonna freak out. You're getting bit.
So we're watching it, and Emma's next to me, like, "Oh no!" Like there's people coming by, and it almost
got stepped on.
You know, and she's like, "Ah!" But we're also not doing anything.
No.
We're just sitting there, like we're strapped to the bench, and we're like, "Ah!" And then I saw a lady watching us react to this thing, and then I felt embarrassment, and I'm like, "Let's get out of here." And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was embarrassed." And she goes, "Embarrassment, would you say?"
Embarrassment is just your ego.
It's just your ego, which, what a way to calm somebody down. Like, oh, by the way, you're only embarrassed because you're a narcissist.
Oh, are you embarrassed, loser? Like I am twice now. That's crazy.
It was a pretty shitty thing to say because you said it back to me. I'm like, oh, that's strong. Like,
Yeah. I got
What did you do?
I can't remember.
we were at a coffee shop later, and I was like delirious from being tired. So we're just sitting at this coffee shop, and there's music playing, and I'm just dancing to it, and I'm just like, like right to her face. I'm like, and then people are looking, and she's like, "Oh, this is embarrassing," and I'm like, "That's just your ego, baby. That's all that is." Don't be such a narcissist. This is us just dancing in public, you know.
Yeah, me dancing is your problem.
But yeah, it's I don't know why we brought that up, but that was a real story that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did we bring it up?
Oh, because the baby rat something had to do with the president getting shot. Nothing. That's gone.
Yeah.
You don't know how
No.
many times we have that moment where like we'll be talking and then I'll bring something up and then we'll just trail off and have kind of like we just did right now. I'll be like, "Why did I bring that up?" And you're like, "I have no clue."
It's fine. The point is that we had a good time.
We did have a good time. That's actually what you say after we finish laughing. You're like, "It doesn't matter what the point was. We had fun."
I love when an argument ends that way. Like me and Becca will have an argument, and she'll be like, "Yeah, and another thing. I forgot. We're good." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is fantastic. What a way to go." I love a good, "I forgot why I'm mad at you." That's great. Don't bring this up tomorrow. You forgot.
Oh yeah, I remembered.
Wasn't that
And then
me?
you go.
Yeah, and then you know.
6 weeks later.
And another thing. Yeah. I love layered arguments because I get caught in those all the time. I'm going to blame this on my gender of being a man, but it might just be me. I can't keep up. Like if we start talking about problem A, but it also has to do with problem B, which just got introduced, and also introduces problem C. Now we got A, B, C, and now we're really going back and forth. And then eventually we add in D. So now we got A, B, C, D, and then eventually I'm like, "Whoa, calm down. Can we at least acknowledge the connection between all these problems?" And you're like, "All right, what is it? What was A again?" And then I forgot about A, and I barely remember B and C, and I'm just like, "Listen, it was embarrassing with the rat." And then we end up kind of, I don't know. We end up in such a weird.
When I get to B being yelled at me, I'm like, "Look, we got to do this one at a time, or I'm not going to respond to any of this." You can do A or B. We can't do them both.
Yeah, dude.
Good?
That's actually how they do it in court.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm being charged with murder, you can't throw in robbery. That has to be a separate court.
charge.
Yeah,
That's
separate
true.
charge. Yes, I murdered because I stole, but that's not how the court of law works, sweetheart. We got to do it.
Separate charge.
That's a separate date. I'm going to get a different lawyer depending on how this one works
The
out.
witness has got to be called again.
Yes.
So,
Everyone has to be
sorry.
redeposed. That's so true. I think couples should treat arguments the way it is in court. You're like, "That's not admissible. That evidence is not admissible. I'd like to call a witness."
Dude,
Who's this witness?
I had a one that almost turned into an absolute blowout the other night. Becca lost her keys, and then I forgot to leave the back door unlocked for her.
Oh.
And then she went into like full screw you mode. Like I asked you for one thing, and the whole time I'm like, this could become the boiling. We could burn this house down if I say one thing. I was like,
If I say what?
if I remind you that you lost your keys. that's the end of us. So you ever hold that like,
Yeah.
I've got the A-bomb in my hand.
You're a smart man.
I was leaning against the wall going like this, don't do it.
You're
don't
so
do
much
it."
smarter than me because I would have been like, you left your damn key. Like a moron. I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I didn't lose my keys.
Well, I could tell she was upset by more than just that. So I
Right.
was like,
Yeah.
this isn't about you at the moment.
Right.
Move, just take a breath.
This is A.
And this is A.
Yeah.
She's on Z.
Yeah.
I gotta find my way over.
I think anytime you're in a couple's argument, you always have something in your back pocket where you're like, I'm not going to pull it out. I'm not going to pull it out. But then you think they just pulled theirs out, and you're like, well, now I got to pull mine out.
Yeah.
And I go, well, here you go. And then now you're just knife fighting. And now it's a full-on knife fight in the
That's
kitchen.
crazy.
Yeah. That's fun, though. Keeps it exciting. Can you imagine being in a relationship where there's no arguments? Like those sociopaths?
Someone's keeping it in if there's no.
There's a major secret if there's no fighting.
I know some people
Do you really?
Do you?
apparently that don't fight. They don't fight.
They don't
I'm
fight?
whispering into the mic, but you can't hear me.
I know.
from there.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
And I'm not going to say their name.
Of course, please don't. Tell me off air.
But it is tough to watch.
Really?
Well, because then they get away from each other and they're just like, "Rah, rah, rah." I'm like, why don't you do that in front of them?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you do that to them instead of me? And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch.
We've seen that.
It's juicy.
That is
Juice.
juicy.
Yeah, it's dirt.
We've seen that in person where we
Yeah.
like visited a couple and they were talking about something big. I'm gonna try to not give away who we're talking about, but they were talking about a big life moment they had just been through together, and then they both described that moment very differently
Yeah.
to us, and they were both surprised to hear each other's
Yeah.
take
I mean, I
on
think
the
you could
big
talk about
moment.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A couple had a kid, and they're taking shifts, and one takes the day shift, the other takes the night shift. Shockingly, the one taking the day shift go, it's not that bad. And the guy taking the night shift is like, I'm about to jump off a bridge. And they were both just surprised.
They were so surprised at each other's experience with it.
Technically, it's balanced in hours, but is it balanced?
Yeah, that was her argument. She's
Yeah.
like, it's fair. And she's like, but is it? Because I'm taking shift 1 a.m. to 8.
She said it's fair, and he said,
Yeah, he was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a real big shock to the system having kids. And she's like, was it really? Not for me.
Oh yeah, when you wake up at 9, must be wonderful. Yeah. So that is funny when you get to see that kind of in real time.
yeah. Like the guy, the boat captain that takes night shift, just watching darkness and forever, nothing going on. You're staring at an ocean for 12 hours, and the guy wakes up, how's everything? I'll drown you. I'll
I'll kill you right now. Oh my god. We
Let's all have kids. What are we doing?
Yeah, who does it? Because there's so many parents that annoy me. You know the talking parent? The one that just says everything? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No.
instead of just going, no, we have to sit tight right now. But instead goes, no, we have to sit down because then the pilot's gonna, but then we're gonna take off and then blah, blah, blah. But you'll hear the wings go like this. And then they'll give us snacks, but that's later. And like, the kid didn't ask any of that crap.
He said, where's my crayons?
Yes. Yes. Stop
That
talking.
was on our flight from Victoria. to
Yeah, that
Vancouver.
little
Oh, God, that
baby
was-
flight
yeah.
we took. Yeah. And it was a 15-minute flight, and I hated them.
Yeah.
And it was a loud plane. It was one of those with the propellers, you know? And it's just like it's like being inside of a giant bee. Just, and all you hear back there is, oh, and now, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's that way. Oh, blah, blah,
And she
blah.
was screaming all of that.
Yeah, because they can't hear each other. So now I'm hearing this asinine conversation. And it's on one of those planes where you can't put in headphones, otherwise it drops out of the sky. They're like, seriously, they're like, don't put your phone on. And I was like, all right. And so, I don't know. It was pretty crazy. We did see Rick Ross's private jet.
Oh, yeah.
We did a puddle jumper. He was doing a show in Vancouver. Remember, we looked it up afterwards. And we were on a really little plane. You know what it looks like. I'm about to describe it.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. and
Yes.
Is it the same thing I'm looking at? That's
It's
crazy.
The dollar signs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has his name on
His
it.
name's on it. This is how I knew it was Rick Ross's, because we were at the small airport, because we're taking this little puddle jumper, and then it goes by the private jets, and then there's Rick Ross. It's his name on it. S is in dollar signs, so you can't mistake. I'm like, whose is that?
And I was like, is that a pro wrestler?
You thought it was a pro, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a rapper.
What pro wrestler? What if you know Vince McMahon that would assume that a pro wrestler would have his own jet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, if that guy was paying fairly, I think Batista would have his own jet.
By now, yeah.
Or John Cena or
Why
somebody.
did they spell The Rock so funny? That's his real name. Rick Rock. But
Rick Ross, right there. It
That's
makes
crazy.
me wish, I hope one day I get enough fame and riches to own a private jet. I'm going to paint it to look like a Greyhound bus. And everyone will know. Because, like, I think by the time, if I ever reach that level, I would have spent most of my career riding Greyhound buses instead of private jets. It would be funny to... And then in conversation, like, yeah, we're taking the Greyhound over to Miami. You're like, whoa, are you serious? Like, for a week? Like, yeah. And then...
fastest Greyhound ever. That's so funny. It's just dirty and there's just piss that flows down the middle aisle of the airplane. You just want to make it exactly like a bus.
Yes, I wanted to make a pit stop and we pick up prisoners. That was a real Greyhound bus that I took from Portland down to Medford, Oregon. I apologize if I've said this story before, but I was doing a show down there. It was not enough money to rent a car, so I got a cheap Greyhound bus ticket. The first stop after Portland, heading south, is in front of the Willamette State Penitentiary. And we picked up two gentlemen who walked on with clear bags of their belongings. And if that wasn't enough, they very proudly yelled to the entire bus, "We just got out of prison." And they were super happy. They sat right in front of me, which I'm like, damn it. I was like hugging my backpack. I'm like, they know I have an iPad. Like, they for sure, they feel it.
I don't know, man. Feels like the safest place to be with them. They're the last person. Like, they just got out.
And
they're not committing another crime, at least on that trip.
That's so true.
They're going to
so
wait till they land.
That is
Yeah.
so true.
But they are like the last people on the... I'd be looking at everyone else being like, do you want to go in with them?
Wow,
Yeah.
That's actually a good point, because I was scared, and I felt like everyone tightened up. Like, they started hitting on this girl across the aisle.
Well, that's natural.
Yeah.
They couldn't help that.
Yeah, they were just in prison
Yeah.
and they're just like, and his pickup line was, "I just got out of prison."
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was gonna make the lady go, "Ooh, ooh, tell me more."
Hey, darling, I'm pretty excited to get back to women. She goes, what?
Have you ever taken a dump without a toilet seat? I have for the last 8 years.
Hey, I'm Zoltan. Just the worst pickup lines ever.
But I just remember
You ever take a dump in front of a grown man for 20 years straight for something you didn't do? Hi, I'm Mike. Nice to see you. Whoa, buddy.
These charges are trumped up. But yeah, they were hitting on this girl, and I remember that girl kind of like looked over, and then we made eye contact for a brief second. I just let her know, I'm not helping. These two prisoners, I got an iPad to protect. You got your own thing. You figure that out. Get off at the next stop. Run.
That's crazy.
But yeah. So a real authentic Greyhound private jet. You know,
That'd be great.
it'd be wonderful. A lot of sleeping bags being brought on.
Pulls over on a cloud because it broke down. Every flight.
They legitimately. Have you ever been on a long Greyhound bus?
I don't think so.
There's no snack service. They pull over at a gas station every. I don't know. I was on that thing for like 7 hours, so
Yeah.
probably pulled over twice or maybe once. And then the bus driver's like, "All right, 15 minutes and I'm getting out of here." And you could tell he meant it.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't just be raffling around, otherwise you're stuck at a gas station side of the highway thing that's not near society whatsoever. Like, you live there now.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
one that I used to take a lot that stops at a Burger King / gas station, and
Yeah.
they have left people. I've watched them leave people.
Oh, really?
It's brutal.
That's my biggest fear.
Wow.
That's
be
the biggest
left.
fear? Left at a Burger King?
Well, and then
I mean,
what?
My biggest fear would be getting my head cut off.
Oh, yeah. Wait, didn't that happen on a Greyhound
Yeah,
once?
in
Yeah,
Canada.
Canadian
Yes,
guy.
they sawed it.
They saw it.
My God.
Isn't that crazy? That person's out of jail, by the way.
Oh, really?
That's the last I heard. That person's out of jail.
How long was that ride?
I don't know.
That seems like something that is going to take a minute.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike, details.
granted freedom and yeah,
They just let him
What?
out for good behavior?
it was the voice of God in his head. He was deemed not criminally responsible and received mental health treatment.
Whoa.
Because
Oh,
he
so
was
he's in
nuts.
a home, or is he out in public?
Schizophrenia. It just says he's out of jail, so that's
All right. I don't mind if he's in a hospital, but like, don't put him. I don't want to sit next to that guy.
That's crazy.
Killed
God,
a
that's
carnival
too-
worker, it looks like.
He was a former carnival worker.
Somebody did, yeah.
You're kidding. It's like a horror movie. You just wrote a horror. That's a horror movie. Carnival worker.
The guy that got killed was a carnival worker.
Oh, so there was
Sorry,
no
yeah.
funeral or anything. That's a dark joke.
Yeah, we really went for it there.
In
Huh?
them and thick.
I'm in a goofy mood. I don't know.
Received an absolute
I know.
discharge and is living independently in Manitoba, in a Manitoba community. The guy who killed him,
Oh,
He's living independently,
Yeah, he's
meaning
out.
like he's free.
he's done.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for him, I guess. Right?
I guess.
Talk about beating the system.
Wow.
Do you think he built a
Crazy.
Ferris wheel in his backyard just to celebrate every day? Just goes around
Yeah.
because he was a carnival. That was a bad joke
Wait,
too.
no,
We went pretty dark.
The guy that died
Was a carnival worker.
was a carnival worker, so
Yeah.
his funeral. Real
Real slow.
Yeah.
Sorry, it broke down. Oh God,
That's so horrible. Don't make a clip out of
we've
that,
taken
Mark.
some real turns today.
We've taken some real risks. And I think you realized why I'm in such a goofy mood.
You are.
I've been microdosing shrooms. This is day 4.
Really?
Yeah, but it's like a real microdose. So I'm just like, but I think it's the coffee.
You're so pleasant.
Yeah,
be
she
around.
likes me on
I love it.
narcotics. Yeah.
I'm like, take 2 squares. Don't just take 1.
Yeah, like, because my anger can override 1 square of a microdose.
You can
but
jump that fence.
It can jump that fence. It can be like, yeah, I get it. The picture frames are wiggly, but I'm still upset. And then it'll make that leap. But 2, that would probably knock me out, I think.
What are you doing right now? 1 still?
Yeah, I'm still on 1. Yeah, because I was supposed to take 4 days. This is my 4th day, and then I got to take 3 days off. And then I think we're out of chocolate, so I guess it's over.
Because I'm back to me.
Yeah, I guess I'm back to me. Yeah.
He's like, "Where's the kitchen knife? I got a bus to take." I'm like, whoa. Let's get some more chocolate in this guy.
Where's my medicine?
It puts the knife down.
It's a nice little Hershey's kiss. Yeah, it's
When you say supposed to, like who treated you? You?
nobody.
The internet?
That's the back of the chocolate pack.
Yeah, it tells you. Take it for 4 days on, 3 days off.
Take between 1 and 12 squares. What the hell?
What color do you want to feel? This is the dosage.
You ever listened to numbers? 5 squares.
Yeah, I'm not that optimistic, but I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I'm just easier to be around.
You're just more jolly.
Yeah, just kind of jolly.
Well, they say it's very similar to like Lexapro. Like microdosing is a very, very similar to
Lexapro is like an antidepressant.
antidepressant, anti-anxiety type of thing. Yeah,
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
yeah. Because they say if you're on Lexapro, you can't take. It doesn't affect you, mushrooms, as much as it would somebody who isn't, because it's like the same receptors.
Oh, it has like
Wow.
cybacillin in it or something like it?
No, there's a word that I don't know,
Right.
but it's in there.
I use cybacillin.
SSRI,
like I know.
whatever the
Yeah.
type of drug it is, it's very similar reactions to mushrooms.
Yeah.
I've taken mushrooms recently and it didn't do anything because I'm on Lexapro. So I have to like really dose myself to get the effect. But then I'm speaking to the trees. That's not what I want. Not again. Last time I spoke to the trees was when Trump got elected, so I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to wait till next year to do it again.
Oh yeah, that's coming, dude.
Yeah, it's,
It
We
is
didn't
good.
we didn't talk about like he was already winning the polls.
yeah.
But like that earshot and then you're like, well, he just dunked. You know what that felt like? That felt like when Shaq dunked on Chris Dudley and then did the shove. You have no clue what I'm talking. It's a deep cut of basketball. But Shaq did a dunk and then with his nuts and his legs just shoved this player on the ground. It was very disrespectful. But you could tell that they were going to win the game. The Lakers did not lose that game.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they did. That'd be crazy if they did. But yeah, that's what this shooting to the ear did. Like I was like, oh well, I mean, if you don't win now, that's insane.
And if Biden doesn't step away now, that's also insane.
He's still not stepping away, and I get it. I get why he's not stepping away because I used to work at a retirement home. They don't want to leave their house. No, they never want to go into the retirement home. They're like, this is my house. And their kids are like, there's too many stairs. Like, you need something a little more flush. And they're like, no, I'm not leaving my house. And I say that jokingly, but at the same time, like that's kind of where Biden's at. He's like he's steadfast. You can't. It's hard to tell an elderly person you're losing your cognitive function.
Yeah.
Because I worked at a retirement home where people were slowly slipping or have completely slipped, and now they're in assisted living, but I would still interact with them. They would get very frustrated. Like imagine your memory. You don't remember the conversation you just had, but the person you're talking to is like, I just said this to you. You'd be like, why? Then you'd be aggressive because you're confused.
You're constantly on the defense.
Yeah.
Constantly on the defense, and the world is like lying to you. And so you're going to be defensive of like, I know what I'm experiencing and I know what I'm not experiencing. So that's where Biden's at. He's like an elderly man that's trying to be convinced to go to the retirement home, but he doesn't want to leave his big white house.
I think he should be president again. He's the best we can do.
So, yeah, I mean, it's really sad.
That's the exact right.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Yeah. Mom and Dad got a divorce. Whose house are we spending Christmas at? You know it's not going to be the
We
same.
just tell them both we went to the other ones and then do something else. Go to France for the next 4 years.
Go to France for the next couple of years. But what's his face? Biden got J.D. Vance as his VP nom, and Mike just nodded in. Have you watched Hillbilly Elegy?
Yeah, and it was a fine movie.
It was fine,
but it
was a
wasn't
little cheesy,
a little cheesy, a little exaggerated.
a little cheddar.
Congrats.
Why was everyone so mad?
You know, because it wasn't the like widely accepted viewpoint of somebody from that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't an affront to hillbillies, and it wasn't an affront to the opposite of hillbillies, right? So it was kind of challenged both sides, which is cool.
Right.
But he also said that Trump is Hitler. Like he said Trump is America's Hitler.
Yeah.
He said nobody on the earth would be a worse president than Trump. And then he's like, nah, he'll be fine. As soon as he it's like they're just, he's like, Trump shouldn't be president. They hand him $100. He goes, I think Trump could be okay as president. He just keeps taking the power and the money and like, I'll say whatever I got to say.
Hey, man,
it's just proof that we're living in a simulation.
It's all politics, man.
Crazy.
Like in the movie, he goes to have dinner with those high-end firms that he's trying to get a job with, and both of them insult his mother. He snaps, leaves, and he ends up going back to take the interview. So how is that? I mean, he told us in the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, listen, I may say X, Y, and Z about somebody, but I'm not gonna let that slow me down. I'm trying to stay out of the hills of Kentucky.
Crazy.
Which, it was very. We're not even done with the movie. We're halfway through. I like it.
They all die. That's what?
Oh, everyone, even the old one.
They all.
Mima.
The whole place goes.
Mima goes down. I would have never guessed. I thought she lived forever. But yeah, that whole movie, like the part of it that I didn't, the part of it that made me feel like, oh, there's so much cheddar on here, is there'd be moments where JD's mom is like yelling at him, like just cussing at him, and everyone around the situation was like appalled. It was like everyone around them was like from now, but they plugged them into the 90s.
Yeah.
When a parent cussed out a kid in the 90s, no one was appalled. Everyone just went, yeah, get him. Like it was, that was common. That was every day. You're like, yeah, hit him again. You know?
Can I get one in?
But all the, can I
get a lick?
Yeah, you're was that scene where Lisa's choking Bart. Homer's like, your hands are too weak. Let me do it. But in the movie, all the side characters, also from Kentucky and Ohio or wherever, like this kind of hillbilly-ish place, they made them seem like they were all appalled and shocked that JD was getting yelled at by his mom, and I was like, no, that's not true. Everyone was probably like just like minding their own business, going, yeah, that's what happens down here.
Hey, don't do whatever it is he did.
Yeah, you know? That'll learn you. That's one of my favorite little lines. That'll learn you.
I wonder if kids still get it the way that. You know, my parents didn't beat me, but they definitely didn't not hit me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like I ran from my dad once up the stairs, like when you're running, so you're on all fours running away because you don't know how else to run.
I just imagine it.
You're going up the stairs like, I got to go faster. I'm on all fours. And I just, in my memory, he reached halfway up the stairs like Stretch Armstrong, grabbed me by my belt, and threw me back down the stairs for something. I don't even know what what I did. But I was like, if you did that today, like, I don't like.
First of all,
that kid would post about it.
He would post about it because it was caught on the Ring Cam with the damn living room camera, and then it would be posted on his TikTok, and he'd own the house by the end of the afternoon.
I thought about this last night. I was watching Below Deck, and there's cameras everywhere, right? And they're catching things on this reality show that they don't know.
About the yachting, right?
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, if I had kids, I would probably put a camera, like a Ring camera, and so they're like, hey guys, there's a camera, so just, we see stuff, and then I put cameras all over the place they don't know about, so I could catch them. They're like, oh, we're hiding from the camera. Like, no, you're not. Oh my God. I got every angle covered. I don't know why I thought this, but my immediate reaction was like, ooh, I could do this to catch the kids I don't have doing things that I don't want them to do. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
I think the beatings had an effect.
Maybe right. Uh-oh.
Good. I like that. Yeah,
Mike, your ears are bleeding right now. Huh?
Mike sets up 8 cameras. Meanwhile, he's in a walk-in closet with 9 monitors. Just like, yeah, I know everything that goes on in this house.
I mean, it zooms out. I'm actually just in an insane asylum. I've been in there since I was a kid because I killed my dad for hitting me.
Oh, God.
Whoa. I love my dad. Great guy.
Have you seen Gypsy Rose? The
Gypsy Rose story?
I mean, I know of it, but I don't know.
There's a 10-part series or something on Lifetime where it just breaks down like everything that happened to that poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that says she shouldn't have killed her mom?
No, should have killed.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm still on board with
Yeah,
that.
I think sometimes the law, the judges, the legal system has to deal with like a blackjack player that it's a push. And you're like, it's a push. You shouldn't have done that. I mean, that shouldn't have happened to you. But then they died. But then the guy that killed the mother was a lunatic. So that guy, prison forever for sure. You shouldn't be in there for long.
I didn't know that she hired I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
Because she was in an abusive relationship, she connected with other abusive people. And she connected with this guy that was a psychopath on the internet, and he killed the mother, took her, or left willingly with him, but then he ends up being a psycho.
Sure.
Shocking. Schizophrenic, lunatic who thinks, what did he say? He is Victor. There's like a part of him that's a 500-year-old vampire named Victor. Yeah. And he's like, well, I can't kill your mother, but Victor can.
Victor's not busy.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It has to be a night vampire.
My Skittles are glistening. I've seen too many movies.
Put the garlic away. Otherwise, he's not going to get this done.
Victor gets on a bus. Hi, guys. I'm a vampire. What's your name, sweetheart?
I wonder if
that guy's the scary guy to worry about.
I hope he wore a cape to the murder.
Oh, no.
And he went... I'm sorry, this is so dark, and it's horrible. But the lady deserved it. For the record, the lady was tortured that girl for like 20 years or something. Long time.
I have a tough time not agreeing with capital punishment or eye for an eye when it comes to crimes against kids.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Especially like 20-something years of being told you're sick, Munchild syndrome or whatever that's called.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yes. I wish someone with a better name discovered it. I'll tell you that. It's like a Robinson disease or something.
We're putting him a guy called Steve Don't Do That.
Steve Don't.
It's a weird last name, but hey, the Don't Do That syndrome.
He's the one that did it.
The craziest part was when she went to prison, Gypsy Rose, she was like, the best day of my life was the first day I went to prison.
I'm sure.
Because she's like, I can make friends here and I can do whatever I want. Isn't that crazy?
She found prison as freedom.
That's that's just proof that she was screwed up.
Yeah, that's a morbid sentence to hear.
How great was prison?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. 3 meals and I got a window. There's a window.
Yeah, and I don't have to be tube fed.
Oh, that's right. They put a tube in her. Like
in prison or the mom?
No, the mom did.
Yeah.
Like because she was told that she was sick, but she wasn't, and she like conned these doctors into doing horrible procedures to her. Yeah.
Is there video of her getting sentenced?
Yeah, there was some courtroom
He
footage.
even sentenced to 5 years in prison. She's like, woo! She goes, oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Woo! Oh, sorry. My bad.
Oh dear. Yeah, we've taken a lot of dark subjects
some
today
very dark
and
episodes.
put some light on them.
It's true.
You know, because that's what comedy is. All right,
98
I
degrees
don't
outside.
feel like ending this episode with a Jerry Springer kind of motif, but we've taken a lot of dark subjects that bring a lot of fear and sadness and have ruined a lot of people's lives, and we sprinkled a little bit of silly on it. As the great Doug Stanhope said, I'm just making fun. What a dick I must be. Like, how dare he said that in one of his specials, like where someone's like, how dare you make fun of that? He's like, oh, you're mad at me? I'm trying to make fun. Make a horrible situation jolly and giggly so we can laugh about it and move on with our lives. And I think that's what we did here today. Safe Journal, safejournal.co, TWIZ at checkout, 25% off. I'm assuming we've done an hour.
56.
Yeah.
That's an hour where I come
Yeah.
from. That's a government hour.
That's a government hour. Hey, when you hire
It's a
me to
government
do
hour and a half where I come from.
when you hire me for an hour of comedy, I'm wrapping it up about 45, 50. So I give you 6 extra minutes.
Oh, I counted the announcements. The opener to 10. It's coming off of that hour, baby.
So anyway, thank you for listening, downloading, sharing, subscribing. ZoltanComedy.com for tour dates. Follow Mike, Big Man Mike. Don't follow Emma. She doesn't want it. And she said that on the last episode, I remembered. And cheers, everybody.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right